There's no Target, there's no bookstores to go to. Like, I am the person that has social anxiety that translates into social awkwardness. This transition that we've been going through has honestly been one of the hardest times of my life. Hi guys, welcome to the vlog. We are currently in the capital in our Airbnb. Seriously, look at my face. If you saw my last vlog, you know that we traveled from where we live in the mountains all the way to the capital. And we took a road that literally gives me night terrors. I was so stressed thinking about this drive that I feel like my face is what absorbed a lot of the stress. Like, I am breaking out. I don't get acne anymore as an adult, but I sure do now. In 2025, I feel like this is going to be the year, especially because my birthday is January 3rd, which is 2 days after the New Year. So a lot of my New Year's resolutions are actually just what I want to accomplish that year as the year that I'm turning. So this year I am turning 30, and at 29, I have already felt my brain chemistry just changing so much. I am feeling my care of what people think just disintegrate and melt away more and more. Like, I'm starting to care less and less about what people think, because number one, if God has called you to something, then you have no reason to be ashamed of that thing, and that's all fine and great. But tell that to my anxious preteen self, who at those years just started to become so self-conscious of everything. So yeah, I think 2025 though, I will start to shift and make things a little more public. I don't know, we'll see. Also, my husband and I were just talking about how I really want to start talking about more Christian fiction or just Christian books in general. Anyway, this battery is about to die, but I was saying I want to read Christian books and give my thoughts and commentary on them. I feel like that's a very huge gap in this book world. I don't want to become a booktuber, that's not my thing, but I do read a lot, and I would love to talk about some of those things with you guys. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. I'm gonna do it anyway, but I would love to know if there are other booky people who also watch my videos. Yeah, what else? See, is it possible to do makeup while holding a baby? Finished outfit look of the day. I'm gonna put on some Doc Martens and call it a day. Honestly, I had to convince myself not to just keep on my sweatpants and throw a flannel over it, but I always feel better when I get dressed. I am just not feeling the greatest. I think from just clenching so much while we were driving has given me just such a headache, and yeah, I just don't feel good. But I mean, the show must go on. It's literally Black Friday. Also, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And anyway, day one, outfit one. Here is Augie's outfit of the day. He has this little jumpsuit on that one of my friends got him from a thrift store. And then on top is his little Columbia thingy. I don't know what this is called, but it keeps him warm. Today's a big day for him because we're gonna get him some teeth and toys and some other toys, right? Kairos, let's show us your outfit. Ooh, handsome boy. Show us your boots. Yeah, we got those from Goodwill, baby. So cute. Daddy Bear, come show us your outfit. Woo woo! Looking like a lumberjack, the only one in Central Asia. Yep.
I shouldn't have done that.
That's going into yes. All right. Good morning. It is the very next day, and we are getting ready to go to our home group. But I was in the process of writing our newsletter, which we send out every month to some people. And in it, I was talking about how moving out to where we live now has been such a challenge to our faith, because there's no longer those things that you go to or that we went to in America that gives us comfort if we're in a challenging mood or season, or like we're feeling some things. Like for me, I can't just drive to the beach and sit alone and process my thoughts. Like I can't get up and watch the sunrise. I mean, the sun does rise obviously, but it rises behind the mountain, so you don't get this like gorgeous sky. There's no Target, there's no bookstores to go to kind of just release. And I was just talking about how in America we're called to have faith, and we did have faith, and we did exercise our faith, but we also had the creature comforts that America provides. I should probably get ready as I'm talking because we have like 10 minutes before we have to leave. But out here, we're called to have faith, and honestly, it just feels like that is all we can have if we want to thrive out here. We have to have faith and faith alone. Like all of our creature comforts have been stripped away. Obviously, we're finding new ones and we're building new ones, but we can't rely on those in the same way that we did in the States. And it's been so challenging and so revealing as to like how sleepy our faith might have been in the States and how distracted we became, and how easy it is to be distracted when you have literally the world at your fingertips. So why do you need to trust God with your whole heart, mind, and soul? And I feel like the reason it's so challenging is because the things that we are trusting God with out there are so extreme. We are so far from legit medical care, and if anything were to happen, we have to travel this, and you've seen it if you watch my channel, we have to travel this road that, I don't even want to talk about it. And we have to trust God that He will, like sustain us and keep us. There's avalanches that happen. There's earthquakes that happen. There's so much, like the things that we're trusting and believing God for are so extreme that if you try to have faith in Him and something else, you just are not gonna survive. You may survive, but you're not going to thrive in the same way. So that's what I was writing about. That's what I've been thinking about and praying about recently. I love that feeling, honestly, of my faith being called up and being called into question and being deepened. I think the overseas life is the life for us. I'm not saying that you have to live overseas in order to experience what I'm experiencing. I'm saying for us, it is so much easier to fall back. I mean, it says more about us. Like, it's so much easier to fall back on a faith and kind of lifestyle. And I just really appreciate the Lord, calling us to have faith and faith alone. It keeps our faith so sharp. There's nothing worse than a dull believer. Someone who has faith, but it's not sharp enough to do anything. It doesn't have any real effect or power. There's nothing worse than a believer who is so caught up by the things of this world that they have no effect on their surroundings. They're not a light on a hill. They're just a part of the hill, Yeah, I feel like I easily become that. My faith is easily dulled when I'm in a routine of just living my life and doing all the, the Lord knows our hearts. So He knows where to meet us and how to call us up. And he's definitely been doing a lot of that for me. If we did end up returning to the States, I feel like our lives would just be so different. Like we would have to live our lives so different than we did before in order to not be just one of those sleepy Christians. What is a makeup routine if I don't have my baby in my arms? If we lived in America, we would just have to reassess a lot more often who we are living our lives for and what we are living our lives for. Don't get me wrong, it's not wrong to have fun, it's not wrong to, just enjoy life and your family and do fun things and all that. I'm not saying to nix any of that. I'm just saying that everything you do should be for the glory of God, and it shouldn't just be a passive thing. Like it should be in the forefront of your mind. To glorify God should be your entire being, whether that's fun, whether that's your job, whether that's your lifestyle, how you spend your money, everything. It should be unto the Lord. Yeah, when you have the world at your fingertips, when you have Amazon at your fingertips, when you have Starbucks and Target, and for me, like Barnes and Noble, and just everything, you can really get caught up with living for yourself and what satisfies you and what pleases you and what brings you joy and you comfort. And it's very easy to get sucked into a self-absorbed lifestyle that has no effect, no real power for change, for the glory of God, for his kingdom, for his purposes. And that is so much scarier to me than living where we live. I would rather live where we live and have my faith be on just full drive, and have him be like digging up things in me and be so uncomfortable than to live a sleepy existence. So yeah, that's what I've been writing about and pondering about, and it's been really hard because if I'm being honest, like a part of me does want I just want comfort, I just want to, have things that work. It's a harder lifestyle, and sometimes, honestly, a lot of times, I just want things to be easy and comfortable and nice, and like have a coffee with oat milk. Oh my goodness, like oat milk does not exist, and I make the nastiest oat milk, not gonna lie. And yeah, but like how silly would it be if I gave up, being obedient to the Lord for coffee with oat milk, is where I'm at. Like I'm not gonna give up this life just to be comfortable. For me, that shows a lot of growth, because 5 years ago, 10 years ago, would not have said the same things, would not have made the same choices. But here we are. The Lord is constantly growing and shaping us into who he wants us to be, to look more like him and to be the fullest, highest versions of ourselves in him, so that our lives glorify him in the most beautiful way. Anyway, I'm gonna put on some earrings and a little flannel and call it a day. All the flannels I've been wearing recently have been Tyler's, actually, that I bought for him, and he either didn't like or didn't fit. So, outfit check for Augie, same jumpsuit. Cairo, show us what you're wearing. Woo woo. Show us your boots. Yeah, baby. Daddy Bear, what are you wearing? Woo woo. Show us your boots. Show us your boots. Woo! Nice. Hello, party people. It is literally almost 2 p.m. and I'm just now getting ready for the day. I had a book club call this morning. I'm a part of an online book club, and it literally went from like 7 a.m. till like 12. And I'm so tired because we stayed up pretty late last night. it really just got me thinking about community. And I was thinking about this yesterday too, because at our home group, community was also brought up, and the aspect of like in America, it's such an individualistic culture. Like you make your own decisions for yourself and for your own little family unit. But in the Bible and even cultures like here, it's a very community-based culture where all of the decisions that are made are for the good of the community. People make decisions to bring honor to the community, and people don't make decisions so that they don't bring shame to their community. So yeah, it's very centered around honor and shame and wanting to bring the most honor to your community, whereas in America it's like you do what you do and you live your own life, and if people don't like it, it is what it is. It's their fault or their problem, and it's not really your responsibility. And so we were thinking about that and like, what are we biblically called to think? And it was brought up how biblically we, like, once you become a believer, you naturally start thinking generationally, wanting to set up your future generations in the best way possible, mainly, being the light of the world, and how your decisions, the decisions that you are making today, how they affect everything that's going to come in the future. And I just, was really thinking about that and thinking about, like my community. A lot of my community back home is what I have heavily relied on, but then being so far from them, there is a a foreigner community here, but it all takes time to build. And yet, whereas old me would have been like, I don't have time for that, I don't have the energy for that, I don't really want to do that. It's like to make the decision to invest in community, even when you don't like it, you don't have time for it, don't have the energy for it, even when you disagree with them, it's just so uncomfortable. It is for not only for the benefit of yourself, but for the benefit of your future generations, for your broader, community, because community is a mirror. If you have good people, like biblical, solid people around you, they will be constantly reflecting yourself back to you. So hopefully, if you're struggling with something, they're able to guide you through this life and this walk with Christ in a biblical way and show you yourself in a way that you can't do on your own. We are called to just be in the body. Scripture says, like, how can the hand say to them, I'm gonna butcher it, but how can the hand say to the rest of the body, like, I don't need you? It's dumb. Like, you need to be connected to the body in order to be whole. Anyway, I'm getting on a soapbox. I need to actually get ready. It's been really hard. It's really hard to be so far from the people that really know me. But I've been so thankful for the people that are here, that God has put in my life here, because they are willing to get to know me, And it's just so important to invest in that. We were also talking on the book club about social anxiety, and it really got me thinking about all of my little quirks and social anxiety. Man, honestly, being in the book club made me realize how much social anxiety I really have, because we give our ratings on different books, and sometimes, especially in the beginning, I was always so afraid to post my thoughts and opinions on a book, because number one, I'm just so afraid of, I don't know what it is, like, I'm afraid of people judging my opinions and judging me based on my opinions. I think when I really think about it, I say used to be, but I probably still am. Anyway, I was a really cringy kid, a cringy teenager, a cringy, adolescent, a cringy young adult. I look back on all of my decisions that I made in the past, and if it wasn't for the grace of God, I don't know, I could not even stand myself. You know when you watch those really cringy videos and you actually can't, you get secondhand embarrassment, and so you can't watch it? That's me thinking about my past. And so I realized how wrong I was in the past, and I would hate for people to judge me based on how I was. And then the same goes for today. I fear being cringy, or fear being wrong, or fear being like perceived in a wrong way without the proper opportunity to explain myself. So sometimes it's really hard for me to give my opinions, but I've grown in it, because at the end of the day, I don't have any ill will, I don't have any wrong intentions. I think what it is though, is I'm very passionate about what I think and what I believe in. I'm passionate, but at the same time, I'm not afraid to be challenged. Like, I'm not afraid for my views to be challenged, as long as you're holding the perspective that my mind can be changed, and you don't judge me for where I'm at. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but yeah, I just really hate the idea of being judged and someone not wanting to be my friend or not liking me based on something that's not true about me. I don't care if you don't like me because I'm weird, or I talk too much, or whatever, socially awkward. Like, if you don't like me because of that, then whatever. But I hate the idea of someone judging me because I'm being passionately wrong about something, or saying the wrong thing. I am so terrified for some reason to say the wrong thing. And it also made me think about how in Christian culture today, we have been made to be so fearful to say the wrong thing, or to say the right thing in the wrong way. I feel like our culture is so sensitive to, oh, it's just how you said it. It's how you said it. You didn't say it in love. And while I think a lot of it is true, I think we may have let the world dictate too much how we go about saying things and what we say, just because the world is hostile to Christ. There's nothing that you can say that they're not going to disagree with if they're in the world. They didn't reject it because you didn't do something right. They didn't reject it because they are rejecting Christ. Now, can people be too extra and not loving and all of that? Yes. However, God uses everything. Anyway, I say all that to say, I feel like that has seeped into my brain a lot, and not wanting to offend someone, even if what I have to say is correct. Like, being so hyper focused on saying something the perfect way so that I don't offend someone, that I don't say anything at all. Or when I do go to say something, it's so cut off and like not the full power of what I could have said, because I'm so worried about them cutting me off because I said something they didn't like. Anyway, that's what I was thinking about. I wrote some other thoughts down. I'm very okay with you challenging my ideas as long as you remain respectful and you're, I don't know, committed to the friendship. But again, the older I get, the less I care about how people respond, because at the end of the day, if I'm saying something that I truly feel, truly believe, and truly think, and it's in a loving way, and even if it's not in a loving way, I can repent. But if you're not willing to correct me, if you're not willing to tell your opinion and then you go off and judge me, that's your deal. But it's really hard to take that mindset and really bring it into the core of my being and just not care. I feel like I was a really goofy, really just silly kid, and people's opinions of me started to shape how I behaved in public, and now only certain people get to see that side of me. So I'm getting ready to go. to a coffee shop to see my old language teacher. And then we're gonna go to dinner with some friends. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Fit check for mom. I'll throw in my docs. Fit check for Augie. Honestly, Columbia should sponsor him. Let's go check on Kairos and Dad. Kairos, show me your outfit. Woo woo. Show me your boots. Yeah, baby. Dad, show us your outfit. Woo woo. Show us your. What are those? It's okay, I have the same ones. Hey, bye bye, people. See you tomorrow. Woo.